I'll have to admit, over the many years of playing games on the PlayStation, between this and the PS2, it has to be the weirdest and yet wackiest time that I've ever seen with regards to experimentation within games itself. Some of the most unusual and obscure games that I've ever witnessed have appeared in this console. And the funny thing is, like, while I got to play some of them that were released over here, like in Europe, let's just say that in the Japan region, it's just balls to the wall chaos with regards to some of the games that are out there. I mean, they're just, I don't know, it's like they're clinically insane. I don't know who was thinking of these ideas when they were developing them, but clearly somebody had a fun time, or they were clearly on something when they were putting them together, because it's just, there's some games that are out there that are just absolutely just mental, just clearly just mental. They're just, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense. I know it's not the usual way I start off most of these videos, but just this particular game here we're going to be looking at, when I was playing it recently, I was just like, oh my god, what am I looking at? It's just, I can't even describe it. I think from what I've been trying to find with regards to research online, people that really don't know what to make of it either. It's just, yeah, it's something else. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, to give you kind of like an idea of what the game is, it goes under the name of Sagari Ijiri, that was released for the PlayStation by Enix in 1999, and yeah, it basically describes it as a whole. It is one of the weirdest games that has ever been released on the PlayStation console, with the premise taking control of a young boy that has a narrow shape for his head that has been given to him by his mother, which has ended up being a giraffe for some unknown reason, which then sends him through a strange world to make him learn different things about life and different aesthetics and all this kind of stuff. It just, yeah, even just the whole idea of it, when you see it, you're just like, oh my god, what is it that I'm looking at? Literally, like, it's just, it makes no sense. And to make it worse is the fact that with the game being in the Japanese language, if you don't understand different gameplay aspects, you will struggle to figure out really what to do. The only way that I found out is just because of playing so many games, you just have to look out for visual cues and just different references that you know that when you stumble upon something, you just keep pushing buttons until something works. That's what I find to work here, and that ties in with how you advance in the game. Just trial and error, really. That in order to advance, you have to interact with different aspects that do appear. Now, they don't all appear at once. When something works, something else will appear, and you might have to go back to previous areas in order to progress the weird story or whatever. But you do have to also talk to different characters that require different objectives to be completed. They'll give you different tasks to do, but along the way, in between all of those aspects, the player can swim, jump, climb ropes, push objects, but some areas will be blocked until you've chatted with someone or done something specific or collected something that you need, and then other areas will open up. Yeah, it's just, it's bonkers. It's hard to really describe what's going on here, because at one point, like even in the demo, like you're swimming like in a room that's filled with water, and you have to keep bouncing back and forth between different areas in order to complete some of the objectives, just to figure out what to do. Again, it's just trial and error. But then at one point you get met with all of these kind of like intros, and it's just like you have all of these like sound effects, and it's just, yeah, all of the character designs are just, they're completely out there. You just would not see it anywhere at all. And the funny thing is, the developers of these games in Japan clearly didn't care about boundaries or anything like that. They just did what they thought they wanted to do at the time. And it goes back to like what I said earlier, clearly somebody was on something when they were designing these games. But it seems to be a trending thing, because there are more games like this on the PlayStation, yet they are hard to find. And I will try to cover more of them in future videos, because it's just, yeah. 息を吹きかけて優しく叩く。息を吹きかけてや
ジョーロを使え。俺九段よろしく。
I will be honest though, like from playing it, I actually had a blast. I could not stop laughing at it. I just thought it was just cheesy as hell, but at the same time, I just couldn't stop giggling just at silly little things that were going on. And even some of the stuff, I was like, Jesus Christ, what am I looking at? I'm trying not to swear here. That's I tell you how mad it is. It's just mental. It makes no sense. But yet the logic behind it in terms of the gameplay mechanics work okay. It feels more like a budget game, but then it's just so out there that you don't even know what's going on. And then to make things even more weirder is that when you do get into certain points in it, in this particular area, because it was a demo that I was playing, and it is quite long, believe it or not, there's a lot you can do. And there's different options that appear at different points. You'll be greeted with different screens and you have to choose from like different questions. Now obviously I can't read Japanese, but I can tell that every option clearly has some impact or something happens regarding the progression of the game. So it's a case of choosing the right ones or trying again and again until you've chosen one that works. But then you'll be met with intros where you have all of these weird characters, like I said, and some of them won't even have clothes on, and they'll have all these big green heads, and then there's even one that comes in that's like a cow with a human head on it, and then you actually have to mount the cow in order to go across another platform section where you're going up and down these kind of like ridges in order to collect something to unlock something else. It's just, it makes absolutely no sense. I was sitting there just playing it and I'm like, what is going on here? What am I actually playing? It's just, yeah, I can't explain it. I'm hoping that at least by making this video that someone can get some context out of it, because I couldn't. But at the same time, I actually found myself enjoying it and just having a laugh with it because it's so crazy. It's just insane. Like, whoever designed this clearly has a very unorthodox mindset, or they're able to think outside the box. But I think that's what adds to the appeal of it, because it's different. But I think for me, I think what I enjoyed about it the most is that even though I've been playing games on the PlayStation for 30 years, you know, like, and when I think about it too, it's mad that the console still has the ability to surprise you even after all these years, because there's so many of these games. Like, when you think of it, aside from the PlayStation 2 and maybe a couple of other consoles, the PS1 has one of the most largest and vast and most diverse catalogues of games in its library of any console, pretty much. Like, there's something for everybody. Like, there's games out there that are, I will say, like, I hate saying it, but they are crap in many ways. But there are games out there that are just groundbreaking. Games that are mediocre, they're kind of in between. You have all different categories and tiers and levels, or whatever you want to call it. But then you have something like this that's just completely out there. And it's not the first game like this that I have played. Like, I've played games like, I can't even think of half the names of them now when I think about it, because there's so bloody many of them. And I have covered a couple of them in previous videos. I'll find them and I'll leave links to them below. It's just, yeah, it's just kind of thrown me off with this one. It really has. But again, I just had a laugh with it. It's weird, different. But again, that's what I love about it. That's what I'm kind of going off topic here, but I want to get back to it. It's just like, that's what I really enjoy about the console. It's the fact is that it still has the ability to surprise you. There's so many quirky and rare and unusual games that you would never think of looking at in a million years. You just simply wouldn't look at them, or you'd be like, oh, I'm not playing that, and then you go and give it a go. And you just, if you can come at it with an open mind, that's the thing I will say to you, and I will mention that to you, is to prepare yourself, because you have to have an open mind when you go to play something like this. Because if that was to be released in today's context, that'd be banned. It really would. There's no possible way that would get away in the current landscape of society today, the way people behave, and I'm not even going to go into that. Yeah, that wouldn't land well with people at all. They'd be offended by it. That's the simplest way of putting it. And this game, clearly people will find it offensive in a lot of ways. It's just, yeah. But that was the thing about it. Clearly at this time, there was no real limitations in terms of what could be done. Like, again, it was a new console, new concept. 3D gaming was a really whole new thing. But the depths aspects, and even the depths of depravity, developers were willing to go to in order to create their ideas and bring them to life. And they got away with it. Now, probably that wouldn't have been a thing over here, like in Western audiences, because for some reason we just don't get a lot of that stuff at all. But in Japan, there's a lot of wacky games like this, and that seems to be a current theme and trend, and that's just something that they enjoy doing, and to them it's just a laugh. And I can see the idea behind it, because even as I play it, when you think of it with an open mind, and if you approach it with an open mind, yes, it's weird, it's cheesy, and it's just like, what am I playing? But at the same time, if you open yourself up to it, you end up having a laugh. And that's what I was totally surprised with, and I think that's what I enjoyed more about it, was the fact that I hadn't a clue what I was doing, but I was just having a laugh anyway. And I think that's really the whole idea and the simple aspect of playing games. I think really, isn't that what it's all about? That's really really what it should be all about. It's just having fun with what's in front of you. You don't always have to take it seriously. You don't always have to get angry or get annoyed just because something isn't working in your favour. Something like this here that clearly won't work in your favour because you can't understand the language, and it's a lot of trial and error to try and figure out what to do, and you're just like, oh my god. Yeah, let's just put it this way, it will leave an impact on you. Good or bad, it's going to leave an impact on you if you decide to play it. But I will admit, I enjoyed it. I thought it was just funny as hell. I'm just even near now, even talking to the mic here, and I'm nearly giggling just even talking. I'm just like, what the hell? But yeah, if you want to play something completely bonkers, give this one a go. And there are quite a lot of other games like this on the PlayStation that did release in Japan. Actually, I don't even know, or can't even begin to imagine the amount of other ones that are out there. I have covered ones previously and they're weird and wacky. Some of them even wonderful in many ways, you could say. I suppose you kind of have to add that in now. But yeah, the goal here is to try and cover as many of them. Even all of these crazy ones, I'm going to try and cover as many of them as I can. And even at that, if this is anything to go by, I would actually look forward to finding more of these games, because yeah, if it can put a smile on my face, which this clearly has, even just for the sake of just the sheer amount of laughs that it gave me in that short time, then it's worth it. It really is. Now, it may not be a lot to go on, because even though I'm talking about my experience and I have tried to share some aspects of the game, but regards to the information, there is very, very little out there. There is a few forums, there is even a couple of posts maybe on Reddit that you'll find, and they do give some context as to what's going on. Like, there's just some really weird animations and just interactive elements, and even with some of the games or mini games that you end up going through, and even they all say the same thing. It's just completely just out there. Like, it's hard to describe. It's just, you won't play anything like it. It's quirky, almost psychedelic in a way, with the cutscenes and just the cutesy nature of it. It has all those weird and unusual aspects to it. In some ways, on the surface, you think it was nearly like set for a younger audience, but then you quickly realise, you know what, you couldn't let kids really play it in that respect. But then at the same time, that's probably the audience it was aimed for in Japan, because for whatever reason, I can't even explain it. But yeah, all I'm going to say is it's a different one. There are a lot of games like this that did release on the PlayStation. This is just but one of many that I do and will try to hopefully cover in future videos, because if this is anything to go by, yeah, I think there's quite a few laughs and maybe even a few frustrating elements along the way. But hey, it is what it is. But I got a laugh, so I think that's really the idea behind it, and it made my day, let's just put it that way. So right, enough about what I think about it. It will be interesting to hear your thoughts of this very unusual and weird game. Have you even played it? Did you know anything about it? Are you even familiar with any information that is online that's even relevant to it? Because there is very little from what I can find. And even just to hear your thoughts of it overall. Do you think this game is just out there and just whacking crazy like I did? Yeah, because it is. Anyway, it will be interesting to hear your thoughts, so be sure to share them down in the comments below. And if you would like to see more videos around even more wacky games like this that are released on the PlayStation in Japan, because yeah, there are a lot, make sure to keep watching, as I am going to cover more of them in future videos. And if you would like to see some of the videos that I have covered previously of some of these weird and wonderful games, you can check out this playlist right here. And as always, keep those gaming memories alive.